We are a generation obsessed with measurement. We quantify our days in steps, our value in matrices, and our hearts in algorithms. We treat love like a puzzle to be solved. The equation of our loneliness will finally become zero. But beneath the modern machine way of connection, there is a quiet aching truth we all carry. Logic is a terrible remedy for the soul. You have felt it before. A sudden unexplainable gravity when a stranger passes you on the street. A terrifying sense of familiarity in a voice you have only just heard. A grief for a place you have never visited or a person you have only just met. The West called it a wound, the East called it a thread. This is not a romance story, this is the geometry of the soul. We're going to discuss how love has no gender. Forget the rules. Love is what matters.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So this video is about something that I don't know why is it still a topic of debate in 2026. Discussion, I understand. Debate, we live in 2026 and we like to brag about how we have changed so much, right? We have changed the clothes, right? Entire wardrobes that people used to use. We have rewritten the law. We brag about how progressive, how open-minded, how liberated we are. But if you look at how we treat love, this pure feeling of just love, do you think we are in any way open-minded or liberated at all? We are so obsessed with these boxes, these labels and categories. We have turned love, this pure feeling of love, into something so complicated, something people are afraid of. And you know where I come from, in India, it's such a big taboo. And people use it to make fun of other people. Like, what's so funny about it? What's funny about it at all?
Homophobic now.
What? Why?
They think that you don't believe in lesbians.
Oh, come on. That was taken out of context.
What context was it in?
Just that was having a regular conversation with Gwen, and I was telling her I have a hard time believing that lesbians aren't attracted to men.
And if you have ever looked at someone and felt that intense, that terrifying, that unexplainable click, you, in that instant, you realize that all these labels, all these constructed binaries, this is all a big fat lie. That true feeling, it does not give a damn about the societal binaries, about the checklists, about the norms that have been created. So I hope you got the title for today's video from the introduction, and this video is basically about how love has no gender at all. At all. So the first thing that I want to talk about is how love exists before labels. Any label, any category, how love exists, that feeling of love exists before any of it. Today we have literally changed love into a checklist that has our preferences and genders and sexualities and geographical conveniences. But like I just said, if you have ever looked at someone and felt that instant sudden connection, in that instant you realize that all of this is a lie. All of this logic that we try to apply to this feeling, it is all a lie. True love, that pure feeling, is heavy. It's ancient. It's so old. And it feels like gravity. Now this scene came to my mind and I'll explain it to you in the form of a story. Okay, so let's go back 2400 years ago to a dinner party in Athens, Greece. Okay, so according to Plato, this playwright, Aristophanes, he drops a myth, right? And this is a crazy myth. The myth says that humans weren't always fragile, two-legged creatures. Actually, humans were eight-limbed and had two faces. Originally, they were whole, and we had so much power. And we didn't have any gender binaries, we just had three pairings: male, male, female, female, and the androgynous, which is male and female. But then, obviously, like today, we got arrogant. We challenged the god. So, Zeus did something brutal. He didn't kill us, but they split us right in the middle to weaken our power. And this also reminds me how, humans, we as humans, we are such like small parts of this universe, and how dare today we as a human society become so arrogant, got so much guts that we are going ahead and questioning people about who they love, who they want to be with, what they are doing. Like, come on, who do we think we are, God? Who gives us the right to question someone else's love for someone? Why, as a human society, did we become so arrogant? And like, stop. And it's like, who gave us this right to stop people from loving someone or from doing anything, from loving someone that they want to? How dare we even try to stop it? So, coming back to the story, now they split us into half, and ever since that day, every single human being is trying to find their perfect other half.
C'est donc d'une époque aussi lointaine que date l'implantation dans les êtres humains de cet amour. Celui qui rassemble les parties de notre antique nature, celui qui de deux êtres tente de n'en faire qu'un seul pour ainsi guérir la nature humaine.
So when we fall in love, it's not because someone ticked all the boxes that we had in our checklist. It's because we think they are our soulmate. It's because we feel that they are our soulmate. You see them, we feel them as our missing half. The soul, our internal soul, that pure feeling, that internal feeling of love that is just there in us. It does not care about the societal binary. It does not care about any label. It's just looking for its soulmate, its original shape that we once were. And there's this beautiful quote by Plato which says that love is simply the name for desire and pursuit of the whole. Now, there's this another beautiful theory that is believed in the East, and I think you might have heard of this one, but it's like so beautiful I have to mention it, and it's called the red thread of fate. Now, this theory says that God, he tied an invisible little string to the fingers of two people who are destined to alter each other's life. It's invisible, but one string is connected to two people, and it is there, we just can't see it. And two people who are just destined to alter each other's life. I'm not saying they're supposed to be together. A lot of times, obviously because of the society, because of our circumstances, we do not end up together, but the string exists. If you have ever met someone who altered your life, that string existed between you two. It's such a beautiful, and it's such a, cosmic piece. It's basically the metaphor of cosmic design. And the thread can stretch. You can be miles apart, oceans apart. It can get tangled like crazies, right? You can have misunderstandings, you can fight. But it can endure decades of silence and thousands of miles of distance. And it will never break. Now, there's this another Chinese philosophy. It's a way of thinking. It's called daoism. Okay, it's a Chinese philosophy, and there's this concept of yin and yang in it. Yin and yang clearly tells us that love is not a fixed identity, and it's not about finding someone who is exactly like you, who is your static clone. No, it's a fluid dance of yin and yang. It's a shifting balance of energies. And it's also the realization that fate does not work on our own timing. This societal construct that get married in your 20s, get married in your 30s, have kids in 30s, and whatever. This has made our society so crazy because everyone is just running to find a boyfriend, to find a husband, otherwise they won't be in the right age, and we are so desperate to have like someone, we need someone, we're so desperate to start a family, and this societal construct has made us go crazy and chase the timeline of our fate. But yin and yang makes us realize that actually you cannot chase your fate. You cannot change the timeline of your fate at all. Today, me sitting here, I cannot decide that I only like boys and then I just go ahead and only like boys my entire life. You know, I can mold myself, I can hide myself. You know, you never know. One day, just a week from now, I might feel that pure love, that instant connection with a girl. I might hide it. I might mold myself because of the societal construct, because of, oh no, I don't want this. No, this cannot be love. And I go ahead and marry a guy. But naturally, I cannot change it and I cannot chase it. I cannot change the timeline and I cannot change that connection that comes from within, that is natural. We need to stop thinking that we are in control of all of this. We as a society need to understand that some things are just not in our control. And we need to stop trying to fix them. And let's go a little deeper into this concept of yin and yang. So basically, we have been, designed to think that through the storytelling only, to see that the universe is a battlefield, right? There is good versus evil, there is God versus the devil. So look at this traditional Chinese symbol of yin and yang. Our brain just automatically thinks that this follows the same binary lens. But if you look at the symbol closely, you will realize that it's not a place where the good is fighting the bad. It's not a place where light is fighting the dark. This Chinese philosophy, it completely rejects the idea of binary. Yin and yang are not at all enemies at war. They are partners in dance. They don't want to defeat each other at all. We actually need each other to exist. And if you see that, literally these Chinese characters refer to a mountain, and one is the dark side of a mountain and one is the sunny side of the mountain. But ultimately, they are two sides of the same mountain. As the sun rotates, the shady side becomes the sunny side becomes the shady side. It's a natural cycle of transformation, and neither side is labeled good or bad. So it just shows that too much yang is a disaster. It can lead to aggression, burnout, it's a forest fire. And too much yin can also lead to stagnation, depression. So happiness is not a victory of one over the another. It's a perfect balance of these two. They are complementing each other. They cannot exist without each other.
To feel this side, on the other side will be the light side. We all know this symbol now. It's a universal symbol. Everybody called it yin yang, right? Or tai chi. One thing immediately I want to explain. In China, we never say yin and yang. We say yin yang. There's no little a and d in between. It's a whole concept. But in the West, in the rest of the world, we often, okay, that's yin, that's dark, that's yang, that's sunny side, and that's male, that's female, that's us versus them idea. This is a beautiful sign, okay? And the whole idea of this symbol is, we call tai chi, say tai chi, or yin yang, or change, 变, yeah. The whole idea of transformation out of yin yang dance. It's a dance of the opposite. It's all about how to integrate, find coherence and balance of what we call the opposite oppositions. Tai chi literally means the great ultimate stretch for you.
Also, like I always use the media examples, I watched this beautiful movie, Past Lives, and I think this movie so perfectly explains how love has no gender, how love has no limit, how love has no boundaries, no checklists, no binaries. So this movie basically tells us that, even if you brush past a person in a crowded street, then that means you have had 8,000 layers of inyeon with that person. 8,000 past lives connections with that person to even brush past them in the street. This is the concept of inyeon, which is very famous in Korea.
It's an inyeon. If two strangers even walk by each other in the street and their clothes accidentally brush, because it means there must have been something between them in their past lives. They say it's because there have been 8,000 layers of inyeon over 8,000 lifetimes.
And if you actually look at it, there are billions of people on the planet. Why is my friend my friend? Right? It could have been anyone, but why is my best friend my best friend? Inyeon, the connection, the love that we have for others, it builds over past lives. It's built over lifetimes. Therefore, I keep saying that we as humans need to understand that we don't control it, we cannot own it. There are things that are beyond what we can see and what we can understand. There is so much more. And this movie is basically about two childhood lovers who get separated because the girl migrates to another country. And honestly, they don't end up together because, like I just told you, we can mold it, we can bend it, we can mold ourselves, we can bend ourselves because of the circumstances, because of the society. And yes, they do not end up together. A lot of times we do not end up with the people who we have that connection that I'm talking about with, who we feel that love for. But it is there, and we need to acknowledge that it is there.
Inyeon is a concept. It is not just a Korean concept. It is sort of connected to sort of Eastern philosophies' idea of fate. Fate is not something that you go and try to get. Destiny and fate is something that just comes to you. Inyeon is about people who just enter your life. Something as small as the person that you bump into in the street can also be somebody that you get married to. It implies that the universe is pulling these two people together and creating this miracle of two people meeting each other.
And we as a society needs to force people to curve that love that they have for other people. There's no scandalous ending, there is no villain. It is just a quiet, heartbreaking wait of two people who are definitely bound by Plato's ancient geometry. They are bound by the red string of fate, but they are living in a lifetime where the timing is just not.
이번 생에는 너랑 아사랑 그런 인연인 거지. 8,000겹의 인연에 모인 사람인 거야. 그리고 아사에게 너는 곁에 남는 사람인 거야.
And it honestly tells you that, honestly, the person sitting next to you on the train is not a stranger. And that makes it so fascinating. It makes it so fun. Someone sitting next to you in a movie, they're not a stranger. They could be someone that you might have loved deeply, desperately 500 years ago. And it just adds that layer of cosmic respect to ordinary human interactions that we have like every day. Once again, this is all about the fact that there are things we cannot see, we cannot understand, but they do exist. And we need to stop thinking that everything is in our control. That we can just keep molding our feelings. No, there are some feelings that are just within, like love for some people, and I don't know why. Even today, the government policies, the people, the stigma, the taboo, they are trying to hold those feelings, hold the expression of those feelings, trouble the people who have those feelings. It's so sad, breaks my heart. Like loving someone so deeply, feeling that connection and not being able to express themselves, not being able to express yourself because of someone else. Who the hell do you think you are? When did we as a human society become so arrogant, so judgmental? How dare we go against nature? Who do we think we are, gods? We are just a tiny, tiny particle of this universe, big ass universe. We could die tomorrow. We could die within the next hour. Who the hell do we think we are to stop others? To put restrictions on others? to shame them for something that is like so natural, that is coming from within. How can you judge someone for loving someone else? And you know, when you do that, you're making the biggest sin. You think they are sinners for loving someone? Okay, then even if that's a sin, their sin is love, and your sin as a judgmental person who is stopping them, who is forcing them, your sin is hatred. Hatred. Love is a feeling that is very fluid. You cannot put fluid in a cage, you cannot put fluid in a box. You do that, it will still be a fluid. You cannot contain it. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is why the society is so desperate to put labels on something as fluid as love. Why is the society so desperate to put a gender on who you love? Why do we need the legal definitions, the boxes, the checklists? If love is as ancient and as cosmic as Plato and as the theories, multiple theories suggest, then why is the society treating it like it's a tax form that we have to fill, where the definitions and the labels and the boxes are required? And here comes the harsh truth that the society only polices love for its need to control. I have been saying this since the beginning. Who the hell do you think you are to control someone else? Who the hell do you think you are to control these feelings? Who the hell made you so arrogant? Your need to control is making people suffer.
We bounce so much of ourselves to be cured of things faster that we go bankrupt by the age of 30 and have less to offer each time we start with someone new. But to make yourself feel nothing so as not to feel anything, what a waste.
Your need to control is making thousands of people suffer for loving someone. They just want to control us, right? The need to control is killing people. We as humans think we can control everything. We cannot. We cannot even recognize a lot of things. We cannot even acknowledge a lot of things. And there was a person, Michael Foucault. So now, Foucault basically explains that earlier sex was conformed to the conjugal family strictly for reproduction and labor capacity, right? They obviously thought that if only desire would prevail, then it would be a threat to creating the next generation. They wanted workers, so it was seen as a threat to the economic machine, right? And then later on, the medicine and in the history of sexuality, Foucault argued that the sexual categories like homosexual or heterosexual, they're quite new, okay? Earlier, like before the 19th century, people just did whatever they did. They did whatever they wanted. But the modern institutions, the medicine, the government, they thought that by categorizing desire, they could police it. They could control it. They turned this fluid human experience into a medicalized identity, something that they could surveillance, something that they could control. And Judith Butler, they actually took it forward. I made an entire video on the theory of Judith Butler, that gender is a performance, and I would like to mention it here as well. Judith Butler took this a step further, right? And they said that gender is not a biologically hardwired truth in any way at all. It's just a script that we have been handed over. From the moment a doctor pink slips or blue slips a newborn baby, they are pushing them into a role, a script designed by the society. They are forcing people into a daily theater of production. You are not being a man or being a woman by wearing certain types of clothes or like speaking in some way or sitting in some way or doing certain things. You're not being a man by not crying. You're not being a man by wearing the man clothes. You're not being a woman by wearing the girl's clothes, by liking pink. No, you're just performing a script made by the society.
When you were born, what was the very first thing that anyone wanted to know about you? Right. What did they say? You came into the world. What did people want to know? Well, they asked whether you're a boy or a girl. So at that moment in history, you were told, effectively, I mean, I don't know what you understood, but that there are boys and girls and that you would be one or the other. And that question, are you a boy or a girl, that question was waiting for you when you came into the world. It's like you were born. What did they want to know? Gender. Which gender? First thing.
And the ultimate finale of that script, the final theatre production, is the traditional nuclear families. The state, the government, the economy, they need nuclear families because they are the cheapest and the easiest way for capitalism, for social reproduction. And anyone who is living outside the script that has been handed to them, they are not just being themselves, they are being a problem to this fucking machine that has been created. Therefore, people trouble them, governments trouble them, other people trouble them, authorities trouble them. Because how dare you be a glitch in our system, in our machine? You are not different, you are a problem. And this rigid binary is not at all a universal human law. It's just an export. And they come in India where I live, they go ahead and they're like, this is against our culture, this is against our religion, and this happens all around the world, not only in my country. Do you think before speaking? You think you can just brainwash people with the help of culture, with the help of religions? They are doing that. They are brainwashing us by using our culture against us, by using our traditions against us, by using our religions, our beliefs, our faith against us. And we need to acknowledge it, we need to understand it. For the colonization, the societies across Asia and the societies across Latin America, they all viewed gender and love with a lot of fluidity. There were barely any restrictions. There were no problems. There is Kama Sutra, right? So Kama Sutra is an ancient text. So before colonization in India, Kama Sutra actually recognized Tritya Prakriti. Tritya Prakriti is basically a third nature. They celebrated love as an emotional essence, the ras. And that love, that feeling, it transcended all the genders. It did not care, it did not give flying fucks about the gender, about the physical anatomy, nothing like that. Also in pre-Columbian Latin America, there was societies that celebrated, that believed in two-spirited individuals. They viewed gender as a beautiful spectrum. So gender was a sacred spectrum. It was never a binary prison. And obviously, this video is incomplete without mentioning Call Me By Your Name. This is such a beautiful movie. This is one of my favorite movies and I love it, And on the surface, this movie might look like it's just a summer romance, right, between two people. But see where it is placed. It is situated in a villa, which is filled with books and art, nature, classical music, and that villa acts as a sacred sanctuary that is away from all these stupid restrictions, stupid labels. Inside that sun-drenched villa, inside that world, Elio and Olive, they don't have a crisis wondering if they're gay, if they're bisexual, if they're straight. No, they are simply drawn to each other by a sheer magnetic force that I have been talking about. They are stepping completely outside the social script provided to them. At the end, they do not end up together. The tragedy of the film is not that they don't love each other. They do. That pure internal feeling that is there. The tragedy is that summer always ends. Means that world, the outside world, is waiting for them to put on their costumes, to follow the script provided to them. It's just standing there with its expectations, its labels. When Oliver goes away and gets married to a woman, it's not necessarily that he betrayed his feelings for Elio. It's just that he has decided to wear the costume. Like I just said, expectations, circumstances.
They know about us.
I figured.
How?
Well, the way your dad spoke to me, she made me feel like I was a part of the family. Almost like a son-in-law. You're so lucky. My father would have carted me off to a correctional facility.
Elio.
I remember everything.
He is surrounded again by that crushing weight of normalcy, the normal that has been created by the society. He is putting the costume back on, but the peak of the entire movie comes from Elio's father. And this is the major reason why that movie is one of my favorites. Did you hear him? He literally delivered a monologue that acted as a direct anecdote to Butler and Foucault's theories. He tells Elio that our hearts and our bodies are given to us only once. Only once. It sounds so normal, we hear it all the time, but please think about it. Please sit and think. We are given our hearts and bodies only once. Right now there's sorrow, there's pain. Don't kill it. And with it the joy that you have felt.
Given to us only once. And before you know it, your heart's worn out. Then, as for your body, there comes a point when no one looks at it, much less wants to come near it. Right now, there's sorrow, pain. Don't kill it. And with it, the joy you feel. Is it?
He is so beautifully telling his son that don't let the society's needs of a clean narrative force you to sabotage your own soul. And this movie really shows us what love looks like, really. What love looks like when it's allowed to exist in its natural state, unlabeled, unpolished, and heartbreakingly, beautifully free. And then the world comes and tears it all down. Tears it all down. Makes it complex, makes it bad, makes it something someone should be ashamed of. Love, ashamed of. So now, where does this all leave us? We exist in a world that is terrified of what it cannot categorize. We are handed a script at birth, we are policed by the institutions, and we are told that love should fit neatly into a box, into a binary, a timeline to be even considered real. But if ancient philosophy and cinema taught us anything, it's that the human soul is so damn stubborn. And I'm so proud of it. Who can split us in half, and we will spend a lifetime looking for our other half. You can stretch the thread across oceans and miles apart, and it still won't break. You can lock us up in a cage made up of these strict institutions and labels and rules, and give us one summer, and we will throw away all the scripts and all the costumes that we have ever known. The tragedy of the real world is not at all that love is complex or love is rare. No. It's that we have been conditioned to think that love should fit neatly into the boxes, into the categories. That's the tragedy. Bro, we worry so much about how to name the feeling that we are feeling, how to categorize it, or how the world will judge us for it, that we completely forget that that feeling of love is the entire point. That's the point, that's it. Love is what matters. Forget the rules, just love is what matters. That's it. In both the movies, Call Me By Your Name and Past Lives, the characters do not end up together. Past lives ends with the guy and the girl just staring at each other. Call Me By Your Name ends when the summer ends. But in those movies, what the characters really did was that they did something truly radical. They felt something completely unpolished. They touched the ancient, the original form of love. Finally, I just want to say that the ultimate form of rebellion in a world that is obsessed with labels is to simply refuse them. Refuse it. Refuse what you don't like. That's the ultimate form of rebellion. To just look at another person, to just look at another human being and not see their gender, not see their checklist. And just look at this another person and find your missing half, find your soulmate, find that immense feeling of love for them, that pure feeling of love for them. After all, our hearts and our bodies are given to us only once. Once. Don't kill the sorrow, and with it, the joy. Let it be wild, let it be nameless, but most importantly, let it be whole. Let it be complete, let it be pure, let it set you free. And I'm so proud of each and every person out there who is refusing the script every day, who is refusing to wear the costume every day. Just know I'm so proud of you all. So yeah, this is it for this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.